Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. The Signal application controversy continues to buzz in Washington, D.C., with Democrats pretending to be shocked and actually concerned about national security. Imagine that. Despite their spotty and poor past record of keeping secrets. Here's a few gems from the past. President Carter disclosed U.S. satellite intelligence capabilities that were classified until he opened his mouth. Hillary Clinton stole top-secret Senate Department information imagery and shared it on unsecured servers. It would pop up on porn boy Anthony Weiner's infamous laptop later on. Senate Democrats rushed to the podium to disclose classified conversations they participated in the Oval Office to undermine President Trump in his first term. Joe Biden stole top-secret sensitive compartment information for years, leaving it lying all over the country unsecured and accessible to Chinese spies. He habitually and illegally took classified documents into the Acela train and read them in view of the public. In the current Signal imbroglio, Democrats are disgraceful, jumping on this as if a Manchurian candidate had gained access to nuclear launch codes. Folks, this isn't trivial, but it's also not the greatest and most grievous leak of government communications in the past 50 years, as some Democrats scream from the talk show studios and on social media. Their hysteria is simultaneously comical and farcical. At the same time, the dismissive nature of those involved, particularly Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, is troubling and somewhat arrogant. Never in a million years, unless a Special Forces ODA team is trapped in an isolated spot with zero other communications, is it justifiable to discuss operational details in which soldiers' and airmen's lives are on the line in anything other than official government channels. There are, of course, already plenty of conspiracy theories on this breach of operational security. Chief among them, the Biden administration authorized the installation of Signal on government mobiles at CIA and DoD. Now, I have no idea if this is true, but if it is, it makes you question the judgment of the Biden administration. The coders left a backdoor to allow nefarious actors to enter private encrypted message sessions like the one the principals here were chatting on. I don't know if that's true, but that's certainly something that coders do with many applications. Cognitively challenged CEO of the anti-conservative propaganda outlet National Public Radio, Kathelen Maher, is also chair of the board of directors at the Signal Foundation, which is the nonprofit that owns the Signal application. Now, the fact that an anti-Trump Atlantic editor known for peddling falsehoods managed to get in that session is more than enough prima facie evidence for many to smell a rat. I have no such evidence that there's anything nefarious going on vis-a-vis Maher, Signal, and Goldberg. President Trump needs to hold his national security team accountable. Waltz, Hegseth, Gabbard, Ratcliffe have zero excuse. Had a service member made such a colossal blunder, you can be assured they would suffer a Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ, punishment at a minimum, if not a court-martial, under the Espionage Act. These senior leaders have absolutely no excuse for their blunder. The following need to take place: a counterintelligence investigation by the Office of Director of National Intelligence. The Federal Bureau of Investigation needs to investigate potential vulnerabilities of this application. And the President of the United States needs to direct a review of social media apps authorized on all government communications devices with an eye towards eliminating them and sticking only with government-approved applications on government-approved networks. There was no excuse for this to happen. All these people have secure video teleconferencing capability, which would have allowed them to have this conversation, an actual conversation, not a text message chat. Folks, transparency is lacking here. Therefore, truthfulness is in question. Now, this brings me to Jeffrey Goldberg, a pathetic excuse of a journalist. We don't know if the text he published is actually from the Signal session or not. However, what is abundantly clear is the man's arrogance and total disregard for the lives of our military and our national security. Classified or not, such information is still defense information and falls under the Espionage Act. There was no compelling public interest to reveal what he claims to know, let alone the subsequent juvenile behavior in publishing these purported actual communications lines of text. Journalists are responsible for holding the government accountable, not for betraying the nation's security. The press must act responsible. He should have immediately left the conversation when he found himself in it, reported to the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and the FBI, not try to count coup and run a story to make himself famous. Jeffrey Goldberg should have an office call with the Attorney General and perhaps be charged under the Espionage Act for his conduct. Journalists have a responsibility, not just to the publication and not just information to the public, but to be a responsible journalist. And sometimes that means not betraying secrets that protect the lives of others. What say you, folks? I told you I would hold everyone accountable. I don't care whether they're on my team or they're not on my team. When people make blunders, they need to be adults and step up and be responsible for it. And the actions of many people in the Trump administration over this issue, trying to dismiss it, are unacceptable. At the same time, the shock and awe commentary of the Democrats is beyond the pale. Fortunately, the missions were not affected by this. This is an effort to undermine the Trump administration, and their lack of transparency is not helping the situation. What say you folks? Cheers.